Hello, my name's Clive Smith, and welcome to this MBL Seminars webinar on sexual harassment, a guide for criminal lawyers. Just by way of introduction, for those of you who haven't tuned into one of my webinars before, as it says on the screen there, I am a barrister, and I've been called to the bar now for just over 20 years and spent just over 10 years in practice in London dealing with criminal defence work, from everything from road traffic and shoplifting to rape and murder, and most things in between. Dealt with a lot of harassment cases and offences under the Protection from Harassment Act, cases that were aggravated by sexual intention sometimes. And now we actually have, for the first time, a criminal offence of sexual harassment. So I'm going to put it in its context and then talk about some of the other offences that are often prosecuted around this in what's sometimes referred to as violence against women and girls, and a CPS strategy around there. But of course, it doesn't have to be violent to constitute domestic abuse, hence the change in nomenclature in relation to domestic violence and domestic abuse, to acknowledging that it doesn't always have to be violent. So put it in its context a little bit, and then we'll talk about the new offence and other criminal offences around this type of offending. So let's have an overview and look at what we're going to deal with today. Some questions here that I've posed. And the first question I've posed is what constitutes sexual harassment under the criminal law? And then the second question is the offence of controlling and coercive behaviour, and how this has been amended by recent legislation. There have been a few updates, as you'll know. The law on that has been around since 2015 now, so 9 years actually, which has flown by quickly actually. We think of controlling and coercive behaviour as a relatively recent offence, but it's been around with us, I think, a little bit longer than many of us might care to remember. And then we're going to touch upon the difference between harassment and stalking, and then we'll have a look finally on the law on sexual assault and what protections exist under the Sexual Offences Act 2003. Some important and indeed interesting case law, actually. Fill you in on the details of those towards the end of today's webinar.